Hi Stampers, this is Holly from rubberredneck.typepad.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to create the Flower Shop Antibacterial Holder. Here is the front view. Here's from the top, the side, and then the back. And then this fits those little travel-sized antibacterials that you can get at Bath & Body. Now I'm using the stamp set called Flower Shop from our main catalog. Over on my blog, rubberredneck.typepad.com, until August 31st, 2014, I have a paper kit available to purchase. This is how it'll come in the mail to you. And the supplies are included in there. What's not included in there is the stamped images and any of the die cut pieces. You will need the Chalk Talk framelits to make this. And this is the Chalk Talk framelits. And you'll need the little tag framelit to create that. I give you enough cardstock in there to die cut that out. You'll want to cut 2 pieces of Tempting Turquoise cardstock, which comes in the kit. There's 2 of them. And you're going to want to cut them at 2 3/4 by 4 inches. Once you have those cut, you're going to run them through the Big Shot with the Chalk Talk framelits and die cut both of them out. Then you're going to want to run them through the Big Shot again and use the chevron embossing folder to give it that fun pattern. Then you're going to want to cut 1 piece of Tempting Turquoise cardstock at 3 inches by 3 3/4. With the 3-inch length at the top of your Simply Scored, you're going to score it at 1 inch and then at 2 inches. Turn your cardstock, and with the 3 3/4 length at the top of your Simply Scored, you're going to score it at 1 inch and then at 2 3/4. Once you have that scored, you're going to take a pair of paper snips that you use just for cutting paper, and you're going to cut on the center tabs here on the outside. You're just going to cut on that scored line. And you're going to do that on both sides. Just cut on the scored line up to the score line. Cut on the scored line up to the scored line. And then you'll have a piece that looks like this. Then you're going to want some sticky strip. So then what you want to do is just put some sticky strip on that center tab. On both sides there. And this will give it a little more strength since you're going to put that little antibacterial holder in there. And then you want to put sticky strip on one of the squares on the end. And once you designate one side of the Tempting Turquoise, make sure you stay on that side, on that end with the other side. So that's what your Tempting Turquoise cardstock will look like. Then you want to fold over on your on your scored lines and crease it down good. And I just use my bone folder to get that creased good. This will make it easier for assembling the little pouch, little box part. And then you're going to start assembling this. So you want to peel off the backing off the sticky strip on one side on the center tab. And then you're going to fold it in, and you want to attach the tab that has the sticky strip on the outside to it. So just line it up so it's even, and do the same thing on the other side. Fold it in, press down. So now, so far you have something that looks like this. You're going to do the same thing on the other side. Just peel off the backing and fold that forward and line up your edges so they're even. And then repeat to the other side. Just fold it over, line up your edges so it's even. So then you have that little box. Now you'll have a rough edge, so designate that to your towards the back. So it has, so when whoever you give it to looks like it's smooth and finished there. Then once you have that part on there, you're going to set that aside for a minute. And then you want to cut one piece of the Sweet Taffy Designer Series paper, and you're going to cut that at 1.5 inches by 2 1/4. And once you have that cut, you're going to glue that to one of your tags, your Tempting Turquoise tags. So just place that down there towards the bottom. And when you do run your cardstock through the embossing folder, it shrinks it a little bit. So there's going to be a little sliver there that you'll need to trim off. So just trim that off. And then you want to cut one piece of the confetti, or the Sweet Taffy Designer Series paper, and you want that Melon Mambo pattern. You're going to cut that at 3 1/4 by 2 1/4. And then you're going to glue that to the other piece of the Sweet Taffy Designer paper, and just put it towards the bottom, so just a little bit of the other pattern shows. And you may have to trim that too. So just trim that little edge off. Then you want to cut one piece of the 3/4 pumpkin pie chevron ribbon, and you want to cut that at 2 1/4. And once you have that cut, then you're going to place a glue dot on one end and then place that so it overlaps the two pieces of designer paper. And then you just want to take another glue dot and put that on the other end so you have that nice and flush with the edge. And then if you have any ribbon overhanging, just take your paper snips and trim that up. Then you want to cut 20 inches of the 1/4 inch Daffodil Delight ribbon. And you're going to need to wrap this around the bottom of that little box part that you created. And just wrap it so it's, for the most part, pretty even. And then you're going to glue your tag to the box here. So what you want to do is put just a little bit of glue on the box. And you could use sticky strip too if you want. It's completely up to you. And then what you want to do is line up your bottom of your box with your bottom of your tag. And you just want to center it. And then press down gently with your fingers to make that stick to the box. So that's what it'll look like so far. And then you're just going to turn it over and you're going to repeat the same thing on the other side. Make sure you pull your ribbon tight before you put the second tag on, because you don't want it to be a little loose there, otherwise you might not have enough ribbon to tie. And then it'll kind of buckle on the bottom and you want it to look nice. So make sure your ribbon is tight, and then you're just going to line this all up again, line up the bottom edge of the box with the tag, and line up the sides of the tag with the tag on the bottom. And then press down gently to hold it in place. So there's the little box so far. And then what I did was, right away, I just pulled the ribbon down through that little tag holder and I tied a bow. And I just pulled it snug, but not too hard that you rip anything, just gentle. And then create your bow. And then you can adjust your bow after you get your flower on there too. So that's what it looks like so far. Then in your kit, you're going to get some Whisper White cardstock, and you're going to get it enough there so that you can stamp 2 images. You're going to stamp the flower from Flower Shop in Rich Razzleberry, and then stamp the other flower in the Memento Black ink. And then once you have them stamped, you're going to punch them out using the pansy punch here. It matches the stamp set. Now you have to line up the little flower ends with the image. So you might have to keep playing around with it until you get it lined up just right to make it look good. And then just punch it out. So then you have that. And then once you have that punched out, you're going to take a stamping dimensional and put it on the back of the rich raspberry flower and put that down here on the bottom left corner. And then your other flower, you're going to take a piece of scratch paper and you want to take the Melon Mambo Blendabilities and you're going to color that in. Now there's 2 tips on the Blendabilities, and I like to start with the light color first for this project. And I'm just going to color the flower in, the whole petal right away. And these are alcohol-based inks, so make sure to put down a piece of scratch paper to protect your surface because it does bleed through the cardstock a little bit on the back there. And you don't want to press down too hard so that you wreck your tip on the marker. Just go gently. And just keep working your way around, coloring in your image. So I started with the light one, and then I took the next one and I used the brush end on this one as well. And I just went around the outside edge. The outside edge of the flower there. And it just it bleeds right along the cardstock, just perfect for you. So just keep doing that with the next shade, going around your petals until you have the look that you want. And then the last one, I took the darker one, and now this one I used the other end on, and I just drew it along the lines that were in there on that image, just to highlight it a little bit more. And then, once I had the stamped lines images highlighted, I took the brush tip end and then I went around on the center of the flower to make it a little darker. So there's your flower once it's all done. And you'll notice the caps, they come with the little center part. That's where you want your marker to slide into. So if it doesn't snap on easily like that, then don't stop pressing and make sure you have it lined up or you'll wreck the tip of your marker. Now once you have, and then see, this is what I was talking about, it does kind of bleed through on the back. Once you have that flower colored like how you want it, you're just going to take a stamping dimensional and place that right onto the back in the center. And then you're going to attach that over onto top of your rich raspberry one. Then you're going to cut a piece of Whisper White cardstock at 1/2 inch by 2 1/4. You'll take the stamp from 4U stamp set, ink it in Old Olive, and stamp onto that Whisper White cardstock. Once you have that stamped on there, you're going to notch out the end at the end that's at the end of the birthday. Just cut in the center and then go from the tip to the center, from the corner to the center until you have that notched out. Then you're going to cut a little bit of stamping dimensional off your side here, and you're going to add one on each end. And you'll notice on this one the birthday hangs off the side there. So on that end that you notched out, be sure to move that in quite a ways because you want it to sit on the front of that box. And then once you have that part done, you're going to slide this in here under your tag. And you may need to turn your flower. You want to make sure that your flower sits so that the gap So the happy birthday sits between the gap there. And you want to put it so it overlaps that ribbon. And then to finish it off, you're going to use one of the Bright's candy dots, the pumpkin pie that will come in that little paper kit. Place that right in the center of your colored flower. And then you're going to take 3 rhinestone basic jewels. And you're going to add them to that happy birthday tag right below. And then you can adjust your ribbon on the bow, and then you're going to take your scissors and you're going to notch out the end of the ribbon as well. And then that completes the tutorial for the little flower patch antibacterial. Be sure to visit my blog, rubberredneck.typepad.com. There will be a project sheet for you to download. And the paper kit will also be on there. And then you can also see where to purchase all the supplies at if you want the items as well. Thank you for watching.